afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our sessions for Fintech to Road to Carbon Neutrality. It's very nice to have you here. It's a pleasure to be here and Sustainability Day at ADFW this year. Today we explore how Fintech drives the transition to the low carbon emission economy. I'm delighted to introduce you to Mustafa Bozkır, co-founder and CEO of Carbon Surfer that leads utilizing AI to assess businesses and in tracking and reducing their CO2 emissions. Mustafa, can you tell us a little bit more about your company, the Carbon Surfer?
Sure, thank you. Hi everyone, and hi Yana, great to be here with you. So Carbon Surfer is a UAE-founded climate and fintech, and we are a Hub 71 company here in ADGM. And we help businesses easily measure, reduce, and remove their carbon footprint with a view to getting access to transition finance. That's in a nutshell what we do.
Okay, fantastic. Let's dive into our session. So you mentioned the technology, of course, and that you guys, I know that you guys are using AI for emission tracking. And how does your technology provide businesses with actionable insights for reducing their carbon footprint?
So finance and climate is all actually built on data. Right? So you need to process huge amount of data to be able to understand what your footprint is, to be able to get insights out of it, and then get some reduction opportunities and finance them, right? So all these depend on a huge amount of data. We built a multi-agent AI platform working on open source AI. What we do with it is we read, clean, and map data, transaction data of banks or procurement data of large corporates, so that we are able to provide financing for especially mid-corps and SMEs in their value chain. As an example, and we are very proud of this as a UAE-based fintech and climate tech, we are among the first set of companies that has been listed on Llama website. Under Impact, there's only one. We work with Dubai Holding and process 2.5 million data points across their supply chain. This is only for 2 months and one business line. Like Dubai Holding has 11 entities. And there we are identifying who are the top contributors among their suppliers, what are the key items, and are there opportunities for them to reduce. So that's like a tangible example of what we did, which won an award for a UAE-based company.
That's a really great. Can you share with us a little bit more and dive a little bit deeper in your examples of successful partnerships and how you help the businesses to reduce their carbon emissions, and what are the measurable impact? I mean, you mentioned just a few. I just want a little bit more because this is just one of your clients. You have a broad spectrum of clients. If I think our audience would like to hear more in details on that one.
Sure. Yeah, so basically, we're currently working with a number of large corporates and banks here in the UAE. And one of the major partnerships we have is with First Abu Dhabi Bank. So what we do with First Abu Dhabi Bank is we are providing our climate action platform to their corporate banking clients. They use our platform to, as I said, measure, reduce, and remove their carbon footprint. One of those is one of the large kitchen operators in the country, and we established their footprint. And one of the major contributors, 50-60% of it is beef that is imported from Brazil, and there's not an easy alternative to reduce the carbon footprint of beef. But we found some climate tech from Silicon Valley who are able to work with Brazilian farmers to do some very innovative techniques at the source at the farm. So we're currently right now working with FAB, with that climate tech, with our kitchen operator client here, and everyone in the supply chain to finance we're importing carbon neutral beef into UAE, so that we can continue enjoying our meals but reduce the impact on the planet.
Very interesting that you brought this up. Are you working with the scope 2 and 3s as well?
Yes. So basically, yeah, we do scope 1 and 2. A lot of firms out there who are able to do that, but where we are, focusing and making a difference is on the scope 3 across the supply chain and the value chain. So all that data that I mentioned about Dubai Holding is part of their purchase goods and services, part of their scope 3 emissions.
Let's talk about the key challenges in expanding the carbon market. I mean, you have on one side, you have golden standards in Vera, and on the other side, you have free fall in Latin America. Sometimes they deliver their own identity or classifications to, I don't know, items of inventory in the carbon market spaces. And how does the Carbon Surfer address this to drive adoption among the other industries?
Yeah. So, I mean, when we're talking about a market, there's always two sides. There's the supply side and there's the demand side. And over the past couple of years, a lot of people have been focusing on the supply side. And yes, there is still a lot to be done there. But the last, like 18 to 24 months, we also have a demand side issue as well, right? And how do we bring the players into the carbon markets and expand the usage of carbon credits to be able to offset and remove residual emissions is a big challenge. And here, what we do is, I all talked about our B2B products. So one element of our platform is providing access to finance. The other one is helping our clients, especially if they are a B2C company, create sustainable products. So one of those is eco-friendly rides at Careem here in the UAE. So if you're using Careem, if you open, you will see that when you book a ride from A to B, from here, let's say, back to your home or hotel, if you select the eco-friendly, we take the car type and the distance and allocate a fractional carbon credit after calculating the carbon footprint of that ride to basically remove the carbon footprint of your ride. So, the other day in a podcast, I said this as well. When we first started Carbon Surfer, I'm very proud of actually this. They told us, oh, Arabs don't care about climate. Why are you guys leaving your, like good corporate jobs to, like come and do a climate tech? Just do something else. We said, no, we believe in this. And we had data, of course, that would prove us. But actually, right now, around 10% of rides on Careem actually is eco-friendly. So, wow. And this is actually, in terms of like the demand for products, sustainable products, this is with very little marketing. You see this around the world, it's 10 to 15%. And we are very proud that we proved it here in the UAE, in the Middle East, that the consumers do care for sustainable products and do care for doing something when it is made easy, available, and trusted.
Wow, that's fantastic. And we will take Careem for those 10, 15% rides. Are they identified as a green rides?
It's identified as eco-friendly rides.
Eco-friendly, okay, fantastic. So we would know. Let me ask you about innovation and solutions, innovative solutions that you have. What barriers do you think the Fintech still faces in becoming the leading force in carbon neutrality, and how you, in your company, overcoming that?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a set of like challenges that every industry, every let's say the company faces, right? When it comes to like our job, what we're doing, and in the intersection of climate and finance, I think the biggest barrier in terms of to be doing the right thing is a mindset shift that we need in the ecosystem, right? So when you start a discussion around climate and sustainability, everybody talks about, oh, we don't have policies, we don't have regulations, so we cannot do much about it. And I know, in this event and in the panel, we have a lot of financiers. I was, for a very short period of time, I was at Lehman Brothers. So when was the last time, like bankers and financiers really cared about regulations, right? So if, like we want to innovate, we don't need regulations. Our innovation doesn't need regulations. Yes, it can make it easier, faster, like all that. But I think what I see as the biggest barrier in terms of bringing climate and finance together is that mindset shift that is needed to say that, hey, look, there are issues out there. We need to put our hats together and get the necessary tools and financing to help the planet. I think people are worried about another financial crisis, but being too prudent, I'm afraid they're just like accelerating the climate crisis.
Yeah, those are very valuable points on the climate investment challenges as well. So I was just in another stage where we're talking about investments in renewables and digital infrastructure, which you're providing. So let's talk a little bit about the vision for the future. And what do you think that you guys see how the fintech may or can or is transforming sustainability efforts in the next 5 years? And you're welcome to elaborate, for example, in your, be a foresighter. Sure. Yes, so, and see what your favorable future, for instance, would be.
Yeah. So in order to reach net zero by 2050, we need $125 trillion of transition finance based on the World Economic Forum estimations. So I am, envisioning a future where fintech played a role from now until 2030, let's say the next 5 to 6 years, that we have enabled as this community ecosystem somewhere around 10% of that financing need. That would be an amazing, amazing achievement. It is not easy, but then if it was easy, we would have done it already. So that I think is what keeps me excited, being able to enable the mid-corps here and the large corps that they work with and the banks in the global south be part of that.
Well, since you mentioned the global south, two questions comes from that. For example, why UAE? How the UAE in leadership and ecosystem altogether supports you, and also what other countries in the global south you looking to partner with and collaborate with?
So I have been in the region over the last 25 years, since 2005, and my career shaped around finance, technology, and impact. And Carbon Super is now helping me bring all these three together. And what opened my eyes to this field, specifically to this field, was a work that I actually did about 2 years before COP28 with the Abu Dhabi leadership on some of the major banks and companies on their net zero strategies. And what I realized there was just like, wow, we have really a top-down driven approach here to do certain things. And whenever you have that, things happen. And we've seen a number of other things in the region when there is like strong leadership support. Things cascade down to the economy through the sovereign wealth funds, through the state-owned entities, etc. And I left my job. Like, I was a managing director and partner at BCG. So as I said, like a lot of people say, what are you doing? Why are you leaving? But I believed in that vision, and so far, it's all going as expected, if not faster. So we are, like supported by ADGM and Hub 71 here, and again in other Emirates in the UAE as well. We are supported. We expanded into Saudi Arabia. We are partnering with the Ministry of Environment, Water, and Agriculture there, and now we are, hoping in the next year to also expand into Egypt. So we were a UAE founded from the region for the Global South entity, and some of the things that we accomplished and the awards is like really gaining global traction or global attention that just really keeps us going.
Wow, very interesting. Are there any plans going more industrial direction and take care of, for example, there's been a new initiative just recently in October launched M Steel, former Emirates Steel Archon, launched the steel manufacturing facility that is powered 100% by green hydrogen, by electrolyzers from US, a partnership with Masdar. Are there anything like that you, or EGA or anything, because the EGA also has the sustainable green products called Celestal that you could work with, that goes into the car manufacturing and BMW and Mercedes and Tesla out of here?
Look, I mean, what we're focusing on is the value chain of these all big initiatives. So we're currently working with already 5, 6 largest entities in the UAE, but we're focusing on their supply chain and the value chain. So when it comes to some of those industrial names, I think those huge projects, there's already a lot of innovation power, thinking power already put in. But one level below that, say the mid-corps and SMEs that will supply to that steel factory, to those power plants, etc., is our playground. We're helping those suppliers to be able to contribute to the goals and the net zero targets of all those projects, and also some existing entities which are working on their net zero journeys.
Oh, that's really good. We have a little bit of time that we could ask. I want to ask you a question in terms of what do you wish for to our audience if they would like to be in the same sector or in the same space, in sustainability, for example, or carbon reduction or carbon emission neutrality. What would you, I don't know, wish for the audience? How did it get the start, and where do they go from their wishes?
I mean, I think first of all, we need more people. We need more people to work on these issues. We need more brain power, more, like passionate people. And I think people here who are listening to this panel are among them, I'm sure. I think one of the key things which helped us a lot was able to tap into the government initiatives or some of the large corporate or bank initiatives and tap into those. And I think this place, UAE, the Middle East, is, I think, a great place to do that. There are a number of initiatives, as you mentioned already, right? And we are seeing and understanding what is happening there, what are the issues, and how you can contribute to those. I think is where I would start if someone is looking to get into this field.
Well, that's fantastic. To everyone here, thank you very much for joining us in such an engaging and a critical topic at this time. Please join me in thanking Mustafa Bosca for his insightful contribution and leadership in this space for many, many years. I'm Yana Boyd. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the